Good morning, everyone. My name is Jayden. I'm leading the business development for Europe and EMEA region. It's a pleasure to introduce our company and product. So after my session, Kevin, the head of the clinical research team, will present further the clinical studies and images. So let's get started. So we are AIRS Medical from Korea, a startup company founded in 2018. And we have commercialized our product in 2022, SwiftMR. So as of today, we have around 100 people inside, and we are closely working with a globally well-known company. So starting from Korea, so with the 100 installation within the first year, we are expanding our global footprint. This year, January, we have received the CE MDR approval, and now we are coming to European market. So as we know, the problem of the MRI, it takes too long. It causes a problem not only for the patient, but also to the hospital. So patient, they have to stay long in a noisy and narrow scanner floor. It makes the problem and uncomfortable, especially for pediatric and elderly and claustrophobic patient. And the patient has to wait several weeks to get an appointment for MRI scan. For healthcare providers, they can have only limited number of patients per day, and they do frequently rescan because the patients are moving quite often in the scanner. MRI scan time, the image quality is trade-off. So if you when you adjust some parameters in your existing MRI scanners, you can already reduce the scan time. But the reason they don't do is because the output image gets noisy and blurry. The SwiftMR can break the rule of the MRI, the meaning we can have now shorter scan time, but also higher image quality. The solution we provide is simple but powerful. The SwiftMR is a deep learning-based MRI reconstruction solution to recognize the threat of noise and remove it, as well as enhancing the resolution. Standard of care scan protocol usually takes 30 minutes. So using SwiftMR, you can reduce the scan time up to 50%. So after reduce the scan time, we call it accelerated scan. The output image has a lower image quality. So we take this image as an input and reconstruct it by SwiftMR to the standard of care image quality, or even better, through our deep learning algorithm. We have trained our deep learning algorithm as a pair of label and input images with more than 80 million real-world clinical images. So I have brought some the examples. On the left one is the conventional scan, and the middle one is accelerated scan, so means like reducing scan time. The right one is accelerated and reconstructed by SwiftMR, and this is the MRI axial images. And this is the brain axial T2 images. So it's distinction of great white matter and basal ganglia along with the small focal high T2 signal intensities. And now we have C-spine sagittal T2 images. It's a relatively more homogeneous code signal and equal description of focal high T2 intensity lesion. The left one is conventional scan, the right one is accelerated and also reconstructed by SwiftMR. And this is a 3D liver. And the last one is pediatric brain images. The axial T2 weighted images displays good gray-white matter differentiation with improved overall image quality after processing with SwiftMR. So what makes the SwiftMR as a top choice? It has universal coverage and is compatible with all MRI in the world. We provide a smart service plan with its unique features such as True 3D and customizable level of denoising and sharpness. And now let's have a look one by one. So SwiftMR has coverage of 100% at its latest software version. Means all body parts and all sequences, including 3D, is covered by SwiftMR. Just one remark for initial CE MDR version has limited coverage, but we will expand to all coverage by second half of this year. SwiftMR is vendor neutral and standalone software. So it works with any type of MRI, regardless of the manufacturers or field strength from low field to high field. Every radiologist has different eyes on having a look at the image quality. So the users can decide during the installation process which level of the denoise and sharpness they want to use for SwiftMR. And then lastly, so SwiftMR is the only solution who can provide the true 3D. So both in plane and slice direction to achieve the super resolution. By the way, this is the 11 years old 1.5 Tesla scanner. So we have met several customers who consider purchasing a new MRI scanner to replace their old legacy scanners. But now you can extend the lifetime of the MRI without changing any hardware using our SwiftMR. So AIRS Medical is consecutive winner of the world's only fast MRI challenges. We won the all tracks, both in quantitative and qualitative evaluation. But the most important thing is the customers are choosing us in the real clinical field. I have brought some case study in the image center in the US. The average scan time reduction is 32%, and scan volume has been increased by 21%. Instead of having more patients, they have decided to shorten the working hours because it requires additional cost for them. The second one is medical center also in the US. The average scan time increased by 38%, and customer testified they can see noticeable improvement in image quality and less incident of the patient motion on the images. The original workflow, the DICOM data goes from MRI to PACS. The SwiftMR now seamlessly integrates into your existing workflow. So we install a gateway PC to de-identify the patient data. So now you are sending from MRI to gateway PC, the user can receive the reconstruct data automatically on your PACS. So deep learning AI engine is located server here in Frankfurt, and we are fully complied with GDPR. The image process and transfer time takes less than 2 minutes. So as a result, everyone wins with SwiftMR, with improved patient experience and efficiency and throughput. Thank you, and let me introduce Kevin for our clinical head.
All right, so hi everybody. I'm Kevin Yang. I'm the head of clinical research here at AIRS Medical. Welcome to the second part of our talk, I guess. So my job is actually short and sweet. I'm here to basically augment what my colleague Jayden just illustrated gracefully and provide you with at least some evidences that as to why you can trust, our product SwiftMR. So as you can tell, our job or the problem that we wanted to solve is a little different from other AI-based products out there. Whereas we're not focusing on specific anatomies, we're not focusing on specific indications, we're not focusing on specific pathologies, detection or diagnosis. Rather, we are focusing on the fact that simply MRI, scan times they take long. So how do you then generate, to make sure that our technology works across the board, right? I mean, MR exams are done from head all the way down to toe. So how do you then come up with all the evidences that is required for you to adopt our product in your clinical scene? So this is what we did. I mean, basically, we need a whole bunch of studies. Since our founding of our company in 2018, we've been working closely with our clinical collaborators in various clinical scenarios as to coming up with clinical evidences in a variety of situations, ranging all the way from basic neuroimaging to some of the more specific scenarios. And these are just some of the examples that we have been working on so far. And as a result, since last year, we've been getting a lot more evidences out there for you to see in the market. So 2 RSNA abstracts, 6 journal papers published and whatnot, and a lot more to come in the future. So today I'm going to talk about very briefly about just some of these. So this is just a recent study that we published out there in European Radiology. And it's focused on L spine imaging. This is just a short summary, of course, but it was a prospective study focusing on 50 patients, and we were able to show that even though you can cut down scan time of L spine protocols by about 35%, or close to 30%, still the diagnostic accuracies and also the image quality of those output images can still be maintained. And also, we have a similar study with focus on the MSK or knee protocol. In this study, we were able to focus on accelerating the knee protocol to about 45% on average. And the summary or the conclusion was also the same, that where we were able to show that even though you can cut down that scan time, the diagnostic accuracy and also the image quality of those output images could be maintained, or even in some cases be even higher than that of your standard of care images. So this is just a very short summary of our evidences that we have in-house so far, and a lot more to come, as I illustrated in the slide before. With that, I would just move on to the fun part, actually, with a lot more clinical images to show you. So this was probably an example that Jayden already shared with you. So here on just your routine normal T2 brain, you can see those. So a lot of the problems that, a lot of the questions, I should say, that are, most of the customers ask is, if your algorithm processes these images, are you missing anything? Is the algorithm adding anything onto the image? So this is a good example of, hey, no, that's not the case. We only remove the noise. Our algorithms is trained to only detect and remove noise. And this is a good example of it. And also on the same thing, the flare image of the same patient, you were able to still see that high focal T2 signal intensities that you were supposed to see on these pathologies. I just have a lot more examples, so I'll just kind of pass through these. So 35 faster acquisition. And you can see that the image qualities are still similar or even superior in some aspects. And the same case with pathologies. Again, this is a contrast enhanced 3D T1 image. Again, a similar example, 68% accelerated brain MRI image. And we can also apply our, as Jayden illustrated, our algorithm can be applied across the board to even SWI images, where we were able to achieve 44% increase in this case, or decrease in acceleration, that is. And also DWI image, 28% faster acquisition. You can even apply our image to the vessel wall imaging, T1 weighted imaging. In this case, there was no acceleration, but our clinical collaborator was more interested in actually achieving improvement of the existing image. So in this case, we just applied our algorithm to the existing image instead. This is the same case. So this is a brain flare image, but as you can see, this is more of a little bit of a more drastic example, I would say, as to how much of a denoising algorithm, our algorithm could achieve in a situation in an image with a lot of noise. This is also a DWI image, and as you can see, the overall the diffusion images tend to have that geometric distortion, and also tend to have that blurry kind of feel to the image. You can see that with SwiftMR that can be improved. And also, this is a good example of how our algorithm can be applied to even lower field scanners. This is an example from 0.6 Tesla machine. And you can see that the algorithm was able to reconstruct that image to that of a very nice quality. Going down to neck, this is a 55% acceleration, and I'll just kind of skip through these images, as pretty much what I'm going to say is similar. So C-spine, L-spine, this is a more drastic example of how much of a further acceleration that you can achieve. Again, L-spine, and also we can also apply our algorithm to the cardiac imaging as well. This is a CNA. I was expecting it to play, but it's not, but that's okay. about 40% faster exams, and also late gadolinium enhancement image, and the same thing in a different plane. We're going down to the chest. Of course, chest exams are a little bit less frequent in the clinics, but still, our algorithm still works nonetheless. And going down to the breast, 37% acceleration, brain DWI image with about 30% faster exams, and shoulder. Same thing with a shoulder exam done at a lower field image or scanner. This is also from a 0.6 Tesla scanner. And also going down to the wrist, basically the same story. And also down the knee, this is also a good example of how those pathology could still be preserved, even though the acceleration was achieved, an acceleration of about 50% was achieved. And the same case and the same story. This is a good example of what our algorithm can do to a neurography image. Going down to the ankle, again, you can see those the trabecular structure, the conspicuity of those trabecular structures really kind of showing up in the post-process image that you see on the right side. Okay, there it is. Okay, going down to the ankle, the same story. Abdomen, this is a MRCP image. Again, you can see the peripheral kind of branches of those really lighting up, so to speak, when you process those images with SwiftMR. Same case with liver, DWI image. So basically everything across the board. So I seem to be kind of boring everybody, so I'll just skip through and I'll just take questions instead. So if you're interested, we're right next door actually in AI 04. So please come visit us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Impressive work. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, then I'll ask one. A lot of the scanner manufacturers also working on accelerated techniques. Can you comment on how you compare with your solutions versus the...
Right. So, did I make that? Okay, there it is. Okay, so that's a good question. That's one of the main questions probably that comes up frequently. And of course, as a kind of a third-party vendor, I would say, that's kind of the beauty of SwiftMR, I would say. So as my colleague Jayden also illustrated, the beauty of our product SwiftMR is actually how you can apply it to all the scanners out there in a vendor-neutral manner. So that's one of the perks of having this kind of third-party software. And also, I would say that if you have like a mixed fleet, like at an institution, you won't just have like one scanner or multiple scanners from one vendor, right? So in a situation like that, our algorithm can obviously get a bit more of a shine, I would say. And also in terms of the performance itself, we're quite confident that we can compare up to the quality that the vendors themselves could provide.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's a question. Great.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Is it possible to choose how much time you want to reduce the scanner?
Choose?
Choose like tuning the reducing factor, time reducing factor.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for in your practice, I would say. So we do have the option of providing you with different levels of denoising and also different levels of acceleration that we can achieve for you. So if you're looking into, I mean, we have a couple of options as to how we can optimize your protocol, your existing protocol. So I would say, it depends on the parameters that are available, I would say.
Okay.
So there is an option. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Another question.
Hi, thanks for your great presentation. As an AI researcher, I am worried. What impact has this procedure on existing models trained on conventional images? Like there is a reduction of performances that you have measured, or we don't know, or what? Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously our algorithm was trained with conventional, but the way we trained our algorithm was that we basically told our algorithm to, hey, when a low quality image comes in, make it to a high quality by presenting it with two different, sets of images of low quality and also high quality images. So, so it doesn't really depend on like whether the training out or the images used during the training process had pathologies or not, or didn't have. So it really depends on what kind of sets of images that we really work with. So far, and we have not seen cases where our algorithm may have shown underperformance, so to speak. So, but that is a good question. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
If there's no further questions, then thank you very much again. Thanks for joining this session, and see you later today. Thank you.